Hello students, welcome to BioSmart Academy. In today's lecture, we will continue our lecture series on peptide bond. We already made one lecture on peptide bond, that is basics of peptide bond. Okay, so first go and watch that lecture of basics of peptide bond and came here to watch today's lecture, that is isoelectric point of peptide bond. Okay, that is how we can calculate the pi or isoelectric point of a peptide bond. Okay, we already discussed the isoelectric point of amino acid. Okay, how we calculate the charge on amino acid, how we can calculate the isoelectric point of an amino acid at different pH. We already discussed all these things in our previous lectures, so please go and watch all that lectures. So let's start today's lecture, that is pi of peptide bond. So before I start to basically calculate the pi of peptide bond, before that I just want to explain one thing, and that is that how you basically naming a peptide bond. Okay, that is from left to right, from amino to carboxy terminal. How? Suppose this is amino acid number 1, amino acid number 2, amino acid number 3. Okay, so this is what? This is a tripeptide. Clear? So this is a tripeptide. Okay, and this is the carboxy terminal, and this is the amino terminal. Clear? So basically in a peptide, the amino acid residue, okay, the amino acid residues, okay, the amino acid residues, like these are the amino acid residues. Here basically residues means the part which is basically formed after losing the water, that is minus H2O. Clear? So in a peptide, the amino acid residue at the end with free amino group, that is with free alpha amino group, is amino terminal, and we call it as N terminal. Clear? While the residue at the other end which has free carboxyl group is the C terminus, or we can call it as C terminal. C terminal. So in this way we can call towards the left side, that is the N terminal, and towards the right side at the end is the C terminal. Okay, and you can see here that this is a peptide. Basically this is a peptide chain. Okay, and in this chain you can see there is only two charge. One is positive charge on the amino terminal and one is negative charge on the carboxy terminal, and these two charge is basically present on the terminal side, on the terminal end, while in the middle there is no charge, although amino acids are present. Why there is no charge in the middle? There is no charge in the middle due to the formation of CONH bond. CONH bond. Okay, that is the peptide bond, and due to this peptide bond they are basically involved in it. Okay, they are basically involved in it, so there is no charge. Okay, until and unless there are some ionizable amino acid are present. For example, if lysine is present, then there will be a charge, and that charge will be of their pKr value, values. Okay, so this is a basic thing that I basically want to explain before I going for the calculation for pi of peptide bond. Okay, now we can basically proceed to calculate the pi of peptide bond. So first of all, I just want to explain you one thing, is that just look at this. Okay, just look at this, then you will get understood. Okay, so this is C alpha, this is C double bond O, this is NH, this is C alpha, this is C double bond O. Like this will continue. Okay, so this is a peptide bond, clear? Now this value is known as pK1, Clear? This value here NH3 group will be present, as I already mentioned, that on the two terminal end, one at the left terminal end, other at the right terminal end, there will be two charge. That is, on the left terminal end there will be charge on NH3 group, which is basically we call it as pK2 value. We all know that. On the right terminal end there is charge on the CO minus. Sorry, it will be CO minus. Okay, so we call it as pK1. Okay, and we all know that its value is 2 and this value is, we can take approx 9. Clear? And in between the bond that basically is formed, pH have no effect on this. pH have no effect on these bonds. pH have no effect, as I already mentioned. pH have no effect, as I already mentioned in the previous slide. So why pH have no effect? pH here have no effect due to the bond formation. Okay. So the effect occur only in the first amino acid of NH3 plus terminal end and the last amino acid of CO minus terminal end, that is present on the extreme right side. Clear? Next. See, now we will going to basically discuss about the pi of peptides. Okay, pi of peptides. Okay, now, so basically there are two types of basically peptide bond can be formed. Okay, one is non-polar and another one is mixed. So here what do you mean by mixed? So mixed means consist of both polar as well as non-polar. Clear? So the first one, that is non-polar, it is a rare case. Rare case. Why we call it rare case? Because when we basically construct a peptide chain, it rarely possible that there are no basically lysine, arginine or aspartic or any other basically polar molecule are there. Okay, it is a rare that only a peptide chain is made up of non-polar peptide chain. Okay, that is made up of only glycine, valine, leucine, all this. So it is rare. Okay, but in second case, that is in the mixed, where polar and non-polar both present, there may be glycine, there may be aspartic acid, there may be alanine, there may be lysine, there may be arginine, there may be histidine, all this. Okay, so basically to calculate the charge of non-polar is very easy. We can easily calculate pi, as well as we can easily calculate charge at different pH for non-polar. But to calculate the pi of mixed is quite tricky one, and basically this has been asked in the examination and this will be asked in the examination in future as well. Clear? So first of all, we look at the non-polar, that how the pi of non-polar peptides can be calculated. Then we look at the mixed peptide chain, how the pi of mixed peptide chain can be calculated. Okay, so let's start first with non-polar. So I just draw a basically peptide chain. Okay, see, this is a glycine, this is alanine, this is again alanine, and this is valine. Okay, and this is pK1 as we already know, and this is pK2. Clear? So you all know that the value of pK1 is what? 2, and the value of pK2 what? 9. Okay, and we all know that these are non-polar, that is glycine, alanine, and valine. And as these are non-polar, so this does not contain the pKr values. Clear? As they do not contain the pKr values, so there is the possibility of ionizable groups is only 2. One is of pK1 and another is of pK2. While all these groups are not basically going to ionize because they don't contain any charge. Okay, so now how we can calculate the isoelectric point. So to calculate the isoelectric point is very simple, that is Pi is just equals to pk1 plus pk2 by 2, that is 2 plus 9 by 2, that is 11 by 2, that is 5.5. So it's very simple. There is no problem in calculating the isoelectric point. There is no problem in calculating the isoelectric point in case of non-polar peptides. Very simple. Just calculate pk1 plus pk2 by 2, that is 2 plus 9 by 2, that is 5.5. So this is the isoelectric point in case of non-polar. Clear? Now another thing is that how to calculate charge on different pH. Okay, suppose we take pH of pH1. Okay, so as I taught you in our isoelectric point lectures of amino acid, how to calculate charge. So in case of pH1, so pH1 is less than this pK1. So in this case, this will become CO minus to COH. That is, it become protonated. Why? Because pH is very less. H plus ion basically increases. So it become protonated. So here the charge become neutral, that is 0. While in case of pK2, it is basically 9. So this will remain as plus 1. Okay, because less than 9, it will remain as plus 1. But when it goes beyond 9, that is 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14, up to 14, it will become neutral. Okay, but in case of pK1, less than 2, that is 1, it become protonated, that is COH, and charge become neutral. Okay, so at pH 1 the charge become plus 1. Clear? Now similarly we can calculate the charge at pH 2 as well. So how can we calculate the charge on pH 2? Just look at that. Suppose we calculate the charge on pH 10. So what will be charge on pH 10? So this is become neutral, and as it is beyond 9, okay, so charge here becomes 0, and as it is more than 2 pH, so here the charge become minus 1. So at pH 10 the charge become minus 1. Clear? Next, now calculate the charge on pH 8.5. 8.5. So on pH 8.5, so it is more than 2, so here the charge become what? Minus 1. And it is less than 9, so here the charge become plus 1. So at pH 8.5 the charge become plus 1 minus 1, that is 0. So it is very easy to calculate the charge at different pH in case of non-polar peptide chains, as well as it is very easy to calculate the isoelectric point at different pH. Okay, so this is all about the non-polar peptide chain. Now we will going to discuss the mixed peptide chain, where basically you going to find out the pKr values. Okay, now just look at this. So this is the mixed peptide chain, okay, that basically we will going to discuss. And remember, this is little bit complicated than the other. Okay, so this is pK2, I just write it down, okay, like this, that is NH3 plus. Just understood this. Okay, I just write down this NH3 plus. I'm sorry, yes, this is the calculation for mixed. Okay, yes, so this is the mixed peptide chain. Okay, so this is the mixed peptide chain. Okay, now just look at this. So this is the NH3 plus, this is cysteine, this is histidine, this is alanine, this is arginine. Just write down Rg, then glutamic acid, that is E, and this is carboxylic amino, that is C. It takes a lot of space, na. I'm sorry, just we have to write or small NH3 plus. Okay, just write down here 16. Okay, 16, just write down C H A R G E, or you can say D, aspartic acid, and this is a carboxyl terminal, that is COO minus. Okay, so this is a mixed peptide chain. So in case of mixed peptide chain, you can find out that there are ionizable groups are present. Okay, ionizable groups are present, that is arginine is present, glutamic acid is present, along with the cysteine, histidine, all this. Okay, so its pK value is what? This is pK1. We all know its value we take as 2, and its pK2, this value we take as 9. Clear? The pKr value of cysteine is, we can take 8. Okay, we can take is 8. pKr value of histidine is, we can take as 6. Clear? Alanine is non-polar, so no pKr value. So pKr value of arginine we can take at 13, 12.48. So we can take is 13. Glycine is non-polar, so no pKr value. And the pKr value of aspartic acid, that is 3.65, we can take as 4. Okay, now how can we calculate the isoelectric point of this mixed peptide chain, where you can find out that there are lots of pKr values along with the pK1 and pK2. So these all are pKr values. Okay, these all are pKr values of the ionizable basically amino acids. Okay, for pKr values of cysteine is 8, pKr value of histidine is 6, pKr values of arginine is 13 as it is basic amino acid, and pKr value of aspartic acid, that is the acidic amino acid, is 4. Okay, so in this case, how to calculate pi? Okay, so first of all, you have to calculate here the pH charge at pH 1. Okay, and if you calculate the charge at pH 1, then there is a trick by which you can easily calculate the pi. Okay, so what will be the charge at pH 1? Okay, I already teach you that how to calculate charge at different pH. So at pH 1, so in this case, in CO minus, that is pK1, here the charge become neutral, that is 0, because pH 1 is less than 2, so it become neutral. Okay, in this case aspartic acid, here also charge become 0 because pH 1 is less than 4, so here also charge becomes 0. In case of arginine, the charge become plus 1 because it is 13, that is more than 1. In case of histidine, the charge become again plus 1, because it is more than basically 1. Okay, while in case of cysteine, there will be no charge. Why there will be no charge in case of cysteine? Because if you look at the structure of cysteine, there will be no charge. Okay, so here also there is no charge. While in case of pK2 9, so at pH 1 we know that is 9 is more than 1, so here also charge is plus 1. So at pH 1 the charge become plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 0, plus 0, that is plus 3. So at pH 1 the charge is plus 3. Clear? In this way you can calculate the charge at pH 2, at pH 8, at pH 9, at any pH you can calculate the charge. That just you have to remember that where the basically in it is less than 2 or more than 9, just you have to remember these things, because if more than 9, then the this will become neutral. If less than 2, then this will become neutral. So like this. Okay, now so charge at pH 1 is plus 3. Now second step that you have to do is just arrange the pH according to their strength. Okay, that is from lowest to highest. So first pH 2, it is the lowest, then second is 4 here, then third is 6, fourth is 8, fifth is 9, and 6 is 13. So the first step, to calculate the isoelectric point of a mixed peptide chain where there are many pKr values along with pK1 and pK2. The first step is to calculate the charge at pH1. Okay, this is the first step to calculate the isoelectric point of mixed peptide chain. The second step to calculate the isoelectric point of mixed peptide chain is to arrange or to write down the pH from lowest to highest. That is, here lowest is 2 and highest is 13. So we arrange like this. That is 2, then 4 of aspartic acid, then arginine, then histidine is 6, then cysteine is 8, then ammonia, that is pK2 value is 9, then highest is arginine, that is 13. We write it down. And the third and last step that we have to do is where then we have to do is, that is the pH1, that is the value of pH1 that basically came is plus 3. So we write down here plus 3 in front of 2. Okay, now we basically go backward. That is, in between 2 and 4 it become plus 2. In between 4 and 6 it become plus 1. And in between 6 and 8 become plus 0. Then it will become what? Minus 1, minus 2, like this. Then we go like this. Okay, so this is the third step. So now here you can easily visualize that in between 6 and 8 pH, 0 charge is there. It means what? This is the pi of this mixed peptide chain. That is 6 plus 8 divided by 2, that is 14, by 2, that is 7. So student, I hope that you understand this concept. If you not understand, then please repeat the lecture, take the screenshot, note it down on your copy, then try to understand. You will definitely get my point. Clear? Now I will basically show you another mixed peptide chain so that your concept become more clear. Okay, another mixed peptide chain. Just take another mixed peptide chain. Okay, just write down. Okay, this is ammonia and this will be a short peptide chain so that you get the concept more clear. Okay, this is the glycine, this is the aspartic acid, this is the alanine, this is the K, that is what? Lysine, and this is the leucine, and this is the CO minus. Okay, clear? Now its pK1 value is 9, its pK2 value is 9. Okay, 9. Glycine has no pK2, no pKr value because it is non-polar. Aspartic acid has pKr value is 4. Alanine has no pKr value, it is non-polar. Lysine has pKr value near 11. Leucine is non-polar, no pKr value, and its pK1 value is 2. We all know that. Clear? So basically, now what we have to do, as I already told, to calculate, as I already told you that to calculate the charge, to calculate the isoelectric point of a mixed polypeptide chain, first of all you should calculate charge at pH1. This is the first step. So what will be charge at pH1? So here at pH1 it is become neutral, that here the charge becomes 0, here plus 1, here 0 again because it is less than 1 is less than 4, that is 0, and here plus 1. So in this case at pH1 the charge become plus 1, plus 0, plus 1, and plus 0, that is plus 2. Okay, so first step to calculate the isoelectric point of a mixed polypeptide chain is to calculate the charge on pH1. So in this mixed polypeptide chain, the charge at pH1 is plus 2. Okay, because at pH1 the pK1 value is 2, that is less than that is more than 1. Okay, so 1 is less than 2, so in this case the charge becomes neutral. Now this is lysine, basic amino acid, so more than 1, charge will be plus 1. Again aspartic acid, basic acidic amino acid, so aspartic acid is what? More than basically 1, that is 1 is less than 4, so charge becomes neutral. And again it is basic, that is 9, that is more than 1, charge becomes plus 1, so total charge becomes plus 2. Now, so this is the first step to calculate the charge at pH1. In the second step, you have to arrange from lowest to highest pH. So here the lowest pH is 2, then 4, then 9, and highest pH is 11. So we arrange this. Okay, now the third step, which is the ultimate step, is just put the charge at pH1, that is +2, near here, +2, we put it here. Now we have to go basically backward, that is +2 in 2. Okay, now when we go from 2 to 4, it become what, +1, and when we go from 4 to 9, it become what, +0, and when we go from 9 to 11, it become -1. So here you can see that when we go from 4 to 9, the charge become +0. So this is the isoelectric point of this mixed polypeptide chain. So what is the isoelectric point? So Pi is just equals to 4 plus 9 by 2, that is 13 by 2, that is 2 6 are 12 and 2 5 are 10. That is the isoelectric point of this mixed polypeptide chain is 6.5. Okay. So this is the step how can you calculate the isoelectric point of a mixed polypeptide chain, and you definitely going to get question from this. Okay, I hope you understand this topic. If you not understood, then repeat it 2 to 3 times, you will definitely get it. And another important thing that I want to tell you, that please write down or note down in copy while watching this video, then you will get more and more and better idea about how to calculate pi of a peptide chain. Okay, so students, that's all for today's lecture. Remember one point, we already made lectures on biochemistry, many lectures. Okay, so please go and watch all that lectures, that will be very useful and helpful for you all. Okay, so on our next lecture we will discuss about the Ramachandran plot. We will going to discuss about the Ramachandran plot. So please remain with us. We will provide free lectures for CSI NET, GATE, DBT as well, all this examination. So thank you.